Exposed, my incredible journey from heartbreak to triumph after a bully tried to steal my love. Jamie Thompson stood in the cafeteria, heart pounding like a drum. The laughter echoing around him felt sharp, cutting through the vibrant buzz of lunchtime chatter. All eyes were on him as the self-proclaimed king of the school, Matt, spat out cruel taunts from the opposite table. Jamie's usually warm smile faded, replaced by a tight chest and burning cheeks. He thought of Sam, the girl who saw past social status and into the depths of his heart. Jamie felt a rush of frustrated hope. Could he protect what was blossoming between them? The warmth of summer evenings filled his mind, where barbecues and family gatherings celebrated love and friendship. Yet, in this moment, everything felt cruel and isolating. Matt reveled in the power he wielded. Jamie's 16-year-old world turned upside down by a bully who saw his vulnerability, took aim, and hit hard. His family taught him to stand tall, but acceptance called louder than values. Jamie's gaze shifted toward Sam, sitting with a concerned expression. He couldn't break her heart, too. Every laugh from Matt's clique twisted the knife deeper as it echoed around the room, amplifying Jamie's humiliation. As if time froze, he heard Matt's voice cutting through the tension like glass. "What's the matter, Thompson? Afraid she'll realize she deserves better?" The laughter that followed rang like church bells for Jamie's heart, resounding in layers of ridicule. Suddenly, a flicker of resolve ignited within him. Jamie took a deep breath and pushed back against the rising tide of fear. It was now or never. "Matt, why don't you try building someone up for once?" he shouted, the words bursting out like a firework in the still air. Gasps echoed, the room shifting on its axis, the power dynamic revolving. Jamie stood there, cheeks flushed and shoulders squared, heart thundering like a stampede. He exposed not just Matt's scorn but the darkness hidden beneath those cutting words, revealing his fragility. As he spoke, the cafeteria erupted in murmurs, and for the first time, admiration glimmered in his classmates' eyes. Yes, he was standing up, fighting back against the shadow that claimed his peace, transforming the laughter of his peers from mockery to support. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, but just when the tide seemed to turn in Jamie's favor, Matt's expression shifted. For a fleeting moment, vulnerability washed over him like a wave crashing against a shore. "You don't know what it's like at home, Thompson," he exploded, voice breaking. The room went still as Matt revealed the chaos of his life, layered with pain and neglect that started to pierce through the bravado. Jamie's heart twisted painfully. Was Matt a bully or a victim, too? Would it be easier to fight or to reach out in understanding? In that intense moment, Jamie was left suspended between the soaring highs of his courage and the crushing weight of Matt's truth. What would the next step be? Would he continue the fight or choose compassion? The answers hung in the air like unspoken words, leaving Jamie standing at a precipice, uncertain of how love and justice could coexist. Jamie felt a lump in his throat, a mix of empathy and confusion. As he looked at Matt, he saw not just the bully, but a broken boy, desperate for someone to care. The cafeteria had held its breath, every eye was fixed on them, a pendulum swinging between judgment and understanding that he knew he could fight. The adrenaline still pulsed through his veins, urging him to take control, to show everyone that he wasn't afraid. But beneath that instinct, something deeper resonated. Wasn't he part of him tired of the cycle of pain? Breathe. Jamie took another deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment press down on him like a heavy blanket. "Matt," he began softly, the volume of his voice decreasing, "I'm not trying to bring you down. I just want a chance to stand up, too." Those words hung in the air, a fragile offering. In the raw light of vulnerability, everything shifted. The murmurs faded into an almost sacred silence as Jamie stepped closer, his heart racing, feeling exposed yet strangely empowered. I've seen how hard it is sometimes. We all have something we struggle with, he continued, the honesty filling his lungs with courage. But breaking each other down. It doesn't help any of us. We can't fight this alone. For a moment, Matt's hardened facade cracked further. His gaze flickered downward, and Jamie noticed a sheen of vulnerability glossing over his eyes. In that heartbeat, silence filled the space where laughter and mockery had once reigned. Yeah, you think you know pain. Matt muttered, almost to himself. You don't know the half of it. I'm listening, Jamie said, his pulse steadying as he stepped closer still. The room was tense, filled with anticipation, a collective breath held by students who had seen enough drama for a lifetime. Jamie hoped that something good could emerge from this. Maybe someone else needed to hear the truth too. Maybe even Matt's shoulders slumped, and he gazed into his lap. With a shaky inhale, he released the words that had been caught in his throat. My dad, he's not there. The words stumbled out like confetti from a broken piñata. He's always angry, and I'm just trying to be someone he'd be proud of. There was no denying the hurt buried in his voice, raw and unmistakable. The cafeteria felt alive with whispers of realization. Maybe they were all figuring out their own battles, wearing smiles that scratched the surface of their pain. I get it, Jamie replied gently, reaching out to him, feeling the shift in the air. But this isn't the way. We don't have to hurt each other to feel stronger. As Jamie spoke those words, he felt something shift inside himself, too. His heart swelled with a mix of hope and compassion. The battle was not just about standing up to bullies, but understanding them, but as Matt lifted his gaze, a flicker of something darker returned. Jamie's stomach twisted as he realized how precarious this moment truly was. Would Matt embrace vulnerability or lash out again? I'm not weak, Matt shot back, defiance sparking in his eyes once more. You don't know what I can do. In that chilling moment, Jamie could feel the room tipping back into uncertainty. The fragile empathy he had tried to forge teetered dangerously. As emotions swirled around them, Jamie stood his ground. He was ready to transform this moment, but would Matt let him? The stakes felt impossibly high. The crowd buzzed with tension, unaware that Jamie would have to decide how to handle Matt's anger, and that choice could change everything. Would Jamie's willingness to understand be met with grace, or would it incite even greater chaos? He took a shaky breath, knowing the answers that dawned upon them all were rarely black and white. In the crossroads of love and understanding, Jamie took a step forward, ready for what might come next. The tension in the cafeteria crackled like static electricity. Jamie could feel the heat radiating off Matt, a mix of rage and fear that was palpable. He had stepped into a dark place, but he wanted to believe there was light waiting on the other side of this moment. Is that what you think? Matt's voice was sharp, cutting through the silence like a knife. You think you can just stand there and preach? You're not the hero in this story. The defiance in his eyes was both unsettling and familiar, a mirror showing Jamie the fears he had barely faced himself. I'm not trying to be a hero, Jamie replied, trying to keep his voice steady. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. That's all. He held out a hand, slowly, intentionally, hoping for a connection amidst the chaos. Matt's gaze flickered from Jamie's outstretched hand to the crowd surrounding them. Was he looking for approval? Or perhaps he was silently pleading with the onlookers for validation, to know that it was okay to be vulnerable. But that crowd was a double-edged sword, hungry for drama, not healing. Why do you even care? Matt snapped, shaking his head as he fought the urge to fold into himself. You have everything. Friends, a family who loves you. Pain twisted Matt's words, revealing a truth that jammed Jamie's heart into his throat. I care because I know what it's like to feel alone, Jamie shot back, his resolve igniting. I've struggled too, and I don't want you to feel like this. He pointed to the space between them, an invisible line that represented the hurt they both carried. There was a moment, just a heartbeat, where the chaos around them seemed to disappear. For just an instant, Jamie saw something in Matt's eyes, a flicker of hope battling against a tide of hurt. But the moment shattered as swiftly as it had formed. Matt clenched his fists, his face darkening. You might think you do, but you have no clue about real pain. You're just trying to make yourself feel better. Each word fell with a weight that threatened to crush the hope that had begun to kindle between them. Maybe, Jamie admitted, wrapping his arms around himself as if embracing the truth of his own vulnerabilities. But it's not just about me. I believe that together, we can find a way through this. We don't need to tear each other apart. Jamie felt a surge of energy, a determination fueling his words. The cafeteria was alive with whispers, confusion, and a collective hope that somehow, the boys could find a way out of this darkness. Then another voice broke through the murmurs. It was Sarah, someone who had witnessed the exchange unfold, her eyes wide and filled with understanding. Look, Matt. We all have stuff we're dealing with. None of us is perfect. But maybe instead of going after each other, we can help each other heal. Jamie's heart raced as he watched Matt's expression shift slightly. It was a tiny crack, but a crack nonetheless. The audience seemed to hold its breath, sensing a pivotal moment, but just as quickly, Matt's defensive armor slammed shut. What do you all know? You think you can just talk it away? His anger flared again, sharper now, like fire leaping in a dry field. The air thickened with uncertainty, and Jamie felt a wave of dread wash over him. Could this moment still turn into something meaningful, or were they destined to spiral back into animosity? The crowd buzzed with anticipation, knowing that this was no longer just about Jamie and Matt, but about everyone who had ever felt pain trying to connect amidst the fear of rejection. As Jamie, heart pounding, took another step forward, a question hung in the air. Would Matt take that step back towards healing, or would he retreat back into the shadows, dragging everyone else with him? In that frantic moment, Jamie faced a choice of his own. He knew he could coax Matt into understanding or push him further away. Which path would he take? Jamie felt the weight of everyone's eyes on him, the tension wrapping around his chest like a vice. Every heartbeat echoed in his ears, thundering louder than the soft whispers of the crowd. He had to say something, do something. He took another shaky breath. Matt, please, he said, his voice quieter now, but laced with urgency. This isn't just about you and me. The way you're feeling, I get it, and I think there are others here who do too. Matt's brows furrowed, but Jamie pressed on, we're all grappling with our own demons. What if you didn't have to face it alone? We could fight together. You're not in this alone, no matter how it feels. The cafeteria seemed to hush, a pregnant silence filling the air as Jamie's words hung between them. For a moment, he felt something shift, an echo of understanding crossing Matt's tortured features. But just as quickly, the flicker died, and Matt's expression solidified like ice. It was a refusal not just to Jamie, but to everyone rallying behind him. You don't know me, Matt shot back, his voice thick with emotion that struggled to break free. You can't just pretend you understand all of this. I know I don't, Jamie replied, desperation seeping into his tone. But I want to. It's not just about knowing. It's about caring, about being there to lift each other up. Suddenly, Sarah stepped forward, her face radiating a quiet firmness. Matt, we've all seen you struggle. You're hurting, and it's okay to admit that. Let us help you. The look on Matt's face momentarily softened, just enough for Jamie to catch a glimmer of something: fear, vulnerability, maybe even the need for support, but it clouded over too fast. You all talk about healing like it's easy. Matt's voice rose again, cutting through the air as frustration bubbled inside him. Do you even understand what it's like to feel so lost? Like you're in a pit, and no one can pull you out. The crowd wavered, uncertain and hesitant. Jamie felt their collective anxiety, a shared heartbeat pulsing through them. What if this confrontation spiraled into chaos? What if they lost him, like a stone cast into the abyss? Matt. Jamie urged, stepping a fraction closer. I don't know what you're going through, but I do know that it's okay to lean on others. That's what friends are for. Friends? Matt echoed, bitterness slicing through the word. Friends wouldn't let you suffer alone. Friends wouldn't act like nothing's wrong. In that instant, Jamie's heart sank. They had all been on the sidelines so long, allowing him to fall into darkness. You're right, Jamie said, the admission stinging like a sharp slap. We haven't been there. We didn't know how to reach you. But we want to change that. Their eyes locked, and Jamie took a deep breath. Matt, you can let go of that weight. We'll help you carry it this time. For a fraction of a second, Jamie could have sworn he saw a crack in Matt's armor. His shoulders dropped just a bit, his fists loosening. It was fleeting, but it held promise. Just then, someone else in the crowd spoke up, their voice quavering but strong. You don't have to hide, Matt. We see you. We're not going anywhere. Amid the collective murmur of agreement, Jamie felt a pulse of hope rush through him. Could there be a way out of this labyrinth for both of them? Could hurt pave the way to healing? But before he could grasp the threads of that hope, Matt abruptly turned away, the pain etched deep on his face. I can't do this. And just like that, the moment hung suspended, anticipation spiraling around Jamie like a tightly coiled spring. Would Matt truly shut them out, retreating deeper into his isolation? Or was there still a chance to reach him, to pull him back into the light? The uncertainty loomed thick in the air, a specter of hope and despair colliding. Jamie stared at the backs of his friends, the weight of their shared resolve lifting him momentarily. He knew the next step mattered more than anything. Would he push onward, or would he risk losing everything he had fought for? As the silence stretched, Jamie took a step forward, feeling the weight of a decision that could change everything. Jamie stepped forward, his heart pounding like a war drum. He couldn't let this moment slip away. Matt, please, he called out, trying to reach past the walls of pain that surrounded his friend. Don't shut us out. You need to feel something, anything. We all do. Matt turned back slowly, eyes brimming with unshed tears. A storm raged inside him, and for the first time, Jamie truly saw the boy beneath the armor. There was a flicker of anguish, an echo of battles fought alone, yet still it was buried beneath layers of anger. Why? Matt's voice cracked, barely above a whisper. Why would you care? You've got your own problems. Why would you spend time trying to fix mine? Because we know what it's like to hurt, Jamie said, stepping even closer. It's easier to ignore it, harder to face it. But together, we can do that. We can face our pain. The thoughts spilled from him in a rush, clumsily woven together like the crumbled pieces of a fragile heart. You don't need to bear it alone. It's okay to not be okay. Jamie's words hung heavy in the air, waiting for Matt's response. The murmurs from the crowd faded into silence. Everyone seemed to sense this moment, this crucial inflection where everything could change for Matt, for all of them. I've tried. Matt shouted suddenly, the frustration boiling over. I've tried to reach out, to scream for help, but all I got was silence. You all looked at me like I was invisible. A weighty silence enveloped the cafeteria again. Jamie felt the prick of shame wash over him. This was real, this was raw. They had failed him when he needed them most. But you're not invisible to me, Matt, Jamie said, pushing through his own guilt. You matter. You're worth the fight. I see you. I see your pain, and I can't just turn away. Not anymore. The tension shifted slightly, as if a gentle breeze had coursed through the charged atmosphere. Behind Jamie, he could feel Sarah and others moving closer, providing a wall of support. It was a subtle, yet powerful gesture of unity. This was no longer just Jamie's struggle, it was theirs too. Just then, Matt hesitated. The fierce look in his eyes faltered, and the stiff line of his shoulders softened. It was a momentary crack, a glimmer of something more profound, perhaps hope or the flickering light of vulnerability. Maybe, he whispered, his voice trembling now. Maybe it feels easier to hide. But I don't want to be alone. I'm scared. Scared. The word hung heavy in the air, resonating in the hearts of everyone present. Jamie felt a swell of compassion surge within him. It's okay to be scared, Matt. It's okay to admit that you're struggling. We all are. But together, we can find a way out. Another breath of anticipation swept through the crowd. Jamie could see that they were all holding on, waiting for Matt to make a choice to stay hidden or take a step into the light. Their eyes were filled with empathy and solidarity, reflecting the very feelings that Matt had buried deep inside. As Matt's gaze darted around the room, Jamie's heart raced. Would he reach out, taste the sweetness of friendship, or would he retreat into the shadows of isolation once again? Think about this, Jamie continued, determined to give him the nudge he needed. You can choose to stay in that pit, or you can let us help you climb out. You belong with us, you always have. The silence was thick and heavy, wrapping around them like a colossal weight. Time seemed to hang suspended, as if the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for Matt to answer. With every second that ticked by, Jamie's stomach churned with anxiety. Would Matt turn back towards them, or was they destined to watch their friend slip away once more? And then, Matt took a deep breath, his shoulders finally relaxing a fraction as uncertainty painted his face. I don't know how to accept help, he admitted, vulnerability creeping into his voice. Jamie took another step closer, more resolute than ever. You only have to take one step at a time. Let us figure it out together. As hope blossomed in Jamie's chest, he stared into Matt's eyes. This was a moment that could change everything. Would they find a way forward, or was this just another step toward heartbreak? But before Jamie could grasp what was happening, Matt turned away again. I need time to think. The disappointment jolted through Jamie, an arrow to his heart. The crowd around them felt heavier, whispers of concern cascading through the room. The chance for connection hung in the air like a fragile thread, at risk of snapping at any moment. As Matt walked away, doubt seeped back in. Had he done enough? Did he fight hard enough for his friend? Was that it? Jamie wondered silently. Could it end here? But in the back of his mind, another idea began to take root. Maybe this wasn't the end. Maybe it was only the beginning. The daunting silence of what could happen loomed larger now. Jamie felt a flicker of determination, ready to chase after his friend, ready to untangle this complex web of isolation, longing for companionship. In that moment, the next step unfolded with infinite possibility. Would he follow Matt? Or was it time to devise a new plan for them all? Matt's footsteps echoed in Jamie's mind like a drum, each step pulling him further away from the hope they had almost grasped. He could see it, Matt's posture shifting, the tension in his back that hinted he was still battling something, and the glimmering shadow of tears barely held at bay. Jamie felt the ache of desperation surge in his chest. He couldn't just let him walk away. Wait! Jamie shouted, pushing past the jostling crowd. We can't just leave it like this. With every word, the cafeteria seemed to shrink, the weight of unspoken fears and hesitations pressing in. Jamie could see Matt pause, his silhouette strong yet painfully vulnerable in that moment. Jamie's feet moved faster, anxious breaths rushing to fill the void that had opened between them. He reached Matt and grabbed his arm gently, not wanting to startle him but needing to make that connection. Just talk to me. Please. Don't close me out. Matt's eyes glazed over with confusion and hurt. What's left to say? He shot back, anger flickering on his face, but Jamie could see it was tinged with distress. You've said it all. I'm a mess. I'm scared. Maybe it's too late. No, it's not too late. It's just the beginning. Jamie urged, trying to keep his voice steady, steady enough to reach through. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. Just let me help you find the pieces. Let us face it together. Silence enveloped them, thick as fog and sweet with the scent of possibility. Jamie watched Matt wrestle with his thoughts, caught in that crossfire of fear and longing. It was a raw moment, a blend of uncertainty, desperation, and hope, a perfect storm that signaled change. "Why is it so hard to believe that you care?" Matt whispered, almost to himself. "Why is it so hard to let you in?" "Because we're scared of being hurt," Jamie replied softly. "But you know what? I'd rather be hurt trying to help you than be stuck in silence. I can't sit by and watch you suffer." Matt's shoulders trembled, and Jamie could sense a shift in the air. It was like the storm inside him was beginning to calm. I don't know how to let anyone in anymore," he admitted, his voice breaking. "What if I push you away?" "You might," Jamie said, blinking back tears, "but we'll still be here. It's not about perfection. It's about the struggle. It's about showing up for each other, even when things get tough." The faintest quirk of a smile tugged at the corner of Matt's lips, chasing away shadows of despair. "You really mean that?" "Absolutely," Jamie affirmed, the warmth of conviction filling his chest. "You deserve to feel seen, to be loved. And you don't have to face everything alone. We can walk this road together." With those words, Jamie felt the barrier between them begin to crack further. Matt took a shaky breath, his expression a mixture of gratitude and fear, hope shimmering just beneath the surface. "I want to try," Matt started hesitantly, his voice barely above a whisper, "but what if it goes wrong? What if I lose this chance?" Jamie stepped closer, heart racing. "What if it goes right? What if you find a way through? We won't have all the answers today, but we can figure them out together." In that instant, everything shifted. Matt's defenses lowered ever so slightly, glimmers of trust lighting up his stormy eyes. "Okay," he breathed, vulnerability pouring into the space between them like a breath of fresh air. "Okay, let us try." Just then, a dramatic crack of thunder rumbled outside, shaking the windows of the cafeteria. Everyone turned their gazes to the glass as rain began to pour, and in that chaotic moment, the sense of uncertainty felt even more pronounced. But somehow, that felt right. It was cleansing, the way the storm blurred the lines of the world they had known. Jamie felt a rush of relief mixed with dread. They had taken the first step towards something real. Yet, the question loomed in the air, could they hold on and withstand whatever storms awaited them? "Just promise me," Matt said suddenly, a frown forming on his brow. "Promise me you won't give up on me, even when I try to push you away." "I promise," Jamie vowed, his heart now tethered to a new kind of hope. "We're in this together, no matter what comes next." As they stood together against the backdrop of the rain, Jamie knew deep down that this was just the beginning, a fragile first step toward healing. But what would the next step demand from them? Would they embrace the waves of their challenges or be swept away by the currents of fear? The answer lay ahead, somewhere between their doubts and dreams. The rain hammered down like 1,000 fists on the cafeteria roof, each drop echoing the whirlpool of emotions swirling between Jamie and Matt. Jamie's heart raced, this felt bigger than both of them, a moment poised on the edge of transformation. They were still standing close, the warmth radiating between them like a fragile bloom amidst the storm. The cafeteria buzzed around them, but Jamie was lost in the depths of Matt's eyes. He wanted to reach in, pull Matt out of that storm inside, but every second felt like a test of patience, a delicate balance of hope and uncertainty. "What do we do now?" Matt asked, glancing at the chaos outside, his voice trembling. "I mean, we're still just ourselves. This doesn't magically fix everything." Jamie let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. "No, it doesn't. But it's a start. We take one step at a time. One day at a time. We focus on being honest with each other." "I've never really done that," Matt confessed, looking down, his shoulders dropping slightly. "I've pushed everyone away for so long. I'm afraid of what it means to be vulnerable again." Jamie nodded, feeling the weight of Matt's words pierce him. "I get it. But being vulnerable doesn't mean you're weak. It takes so much courage to stand there and show your true self." I'm not asking you to spill everything right now. Just trust me with a little. The air between them thickened, and Jamie's heart thudded harder as Matt shifted, his courage wavering like a candle in the wind. What if this trust leads to disappointment? His voice was barely above a whisper, and Jamie wanted to hug him tightly, chase away that doubt. Then we face it. Together, he replied, feeling the conviction driving him forward. Every time you falter, I'll be here. Every moment of doubt, I'll remind you how far you've come. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Matt looked up, something shifting in his expression like a flicker of light through clouds. I want that, he murmured, and for the first time, Jamie saw the possibility of hope blossom on his face. Before Jamie could respond, a loud crash of thunder interrupted them, causing a few students to jump in their seats. The chaos resumed, a cacophony of chatter, laughter, and the clatter of lunch trays. Suddenly, it felt like they were sharing a secret amidst all the noise. Can we just sit somewhere quieter? Matt suggested, glancing around at the crowded room. Jamie nodded, heart racing with excitement at the thought of spending more time with Matt, of nurturing this fragile connection budding between them. They wove through the tables, avoiding the curious looks from their classmates. Finding a secluded corner by the window, Jamie ushered Matt to the empty booth. The soft scent of rain and fresh lunch wafted in, and Jamie could finally breathe a bit easier. Silence enveloped them, the rhythmic drumming of rain providing an oddly soothing soundtrack to their conversation. It's strange, Matt finally said, stealing a glance out the window. It's really storming out there, but in here it feels like safety. Jamie smiled gently. That's because when we open up, we create that safety. It's a barrier against the chaos outside and inside us. I think we can make that our strength. Together. Matt nodded slowly, eyes reflecting the warmth of newfound hope. So what is the plan then? How do we start this, whatever it is? Step by step, Jamie repeated, leaning in, feeling the electricity of moment. Let us be honest. Maybe start with what scares us the most, what holds us back. Matt hesitated, his gaze pooling with vulnerability. Okay. I guess I'll go first. As he took a deep breath, Jamie felt the air crackle with anticipation. Would this moment reveal the truth lurking beneath Matt's surface, or would it spiral into a different storm? What I'm scared of, Matt began, voice shaking, is that I'll never be worthy of all of this. With Matt's words hanging in the air, Jamie felt the weight of their shared journey change. How far would they go to uncover the truth hidden beneath fear and doubt? And what revelations awaited them, lurking just beyond the horizon? Matt took a long, shaky breath, searching for the right words. Jamie leaned forward, sensing the hesitation that shaped the moment. The quiet cafeteria felt miles away, and the storm outside sharpened, drenching everything in a wild, chaotic rhythm. It was just him and Matt, entangled in their own world, where every heartbeat echoed with importance. I've spent so long feeling invisible, Matt continued, his voice wavering slightly. Like I'm stuck in my own head while life passes by. When I think about being vulnerable, I just see all these moments where I crumbled under pressure. Friends faded away. I want so badly to be seen, to feel real, but it terrifies me. Jamie's heart tightened. He could see the pain Matt carried, the way it shaped his very existence. You are real. Just because others couldn't understand it doesn't change your worth, he said, letting the conviction rise in his voice. Being worthy isn't about what others think, it's about embracing who you truly are, flaws and all. And I see you. A flicker of emotion passed across Matt's features, a fragile glimmer that sparked hope anew. But what if showing who I really am pushes you away? What if, or when I'm not enough? In that moment, Jamie felt the weight of both their fears settle heavily between them. Look, he said softly, we all have our scars. I have mine too. But that doesn't define us. It's how we handle that pain together that really matters. You're not just enough, Matt. You are more than enough. I'm here for the journey, all of it. Matt's eyes shimmered, and Jamie could feel the tension shift. Maybe I'm tired of pretending, he admitted, vulnerability spilling into his words. I want to try. Then let us start with something small, Jamie suggested, his pulse quickening with anticipation. Share one thing you've been afraid to speak about. Just one. Matt took a moment to settle, glancing at the rain-soaked window, wrapping his courage around each drop that slid by. All right, I think I'm afraid of falling in love, he finally confessed, his voice almost drowned by a distant thunderclap. Because if I let someone in, and it doesn't work out, it's another reminder of what I can't have. That admission hung thick in the air, the storm roaring outside providing a symphony to the chaos of emotions swirling within them. Jamie took a deep breath, feeling the sorrow Matt carried weigh on his chest. Love is risky, sure. But it's also a chance to find something incredible. Something worth the risk. Matt's expression shifted, uncertainty battling hope. But what if I mess it up? What if I push you away the way I did with others? Then we'll fix it, Jamie said with earnestness. We're in this together, remember? I won't go anywhere. We'll take it one step at a time, one moment at a time. Finally, Matt nodded, a hesitant smile breaking through the shadows shrouding his heart. Okay. I want to give us a chance, to see where this goes. With that, the tension between them melted under the warmth of renewed hope. They shared a moment in silence, two hearts laid bare in the wake of the storm. The rain continued its relentless symphony, but inside, they began to choreograph their own melody, a mix of uncertainty and possibility. As Jamie watched the shadows dance across Matt's face, he felt something magnetic pull between them, a connection deeper than either had known before. There's one more thing, Matt said suddenly, urgency rippling through him. What about you, Jamie? What scares you the most? All of Jamie's courage crashed into a wave of vulnerability. He hadn't expected the question, and yet here it was, pulsing in the air between them. What would he reveal? Would he let Matt see the cracks in his own armor, and then he realized the answer mattered? Would he muster the strength to be vulnerable, just like he asked of Matt? The rain fell heavier as Jamie prepared to speak, his heart pounding. What would he say? What secrets would he unearth? Would revealing his own fears bring them closer or push them into chaos? As the storm raged on, he took a deep breath, ready to dive into the depths of his own truth. Jamie's chest tightened, and the weight of the question felt like a brick. Silence swirled around them, thickening with anticipation. He shifted in his seat, the hard plastic suddenly feeling like a heavy anchor. I guess he started, the words sticking in his throat. I'm scared of losing the people I care about. A flash of understanding crossed Matt's face. What do you mean? Growing up, I watched my family hurt each other over the smallest things. Fights, misunderstandings. It made me feel like I needed to hold back, to not lean too hard into relationships. I'm terrified that if I ever get close, it'll slip away just like that. Jamie snapped his fingers, his heart pounding against his rib cage. A cascade of emotions flickered in Matt's eyes, a mix of sympathy and raw recognition. You think it'll end just like that? Or you'll just push them away? Yeah, Jamie admitted quietly, feeling the sting of vulnerability. It's easier to keep people at arm's length. If I never let anyone too close, the possibility of pain isn't as heavy, you know. Matt nodded slowly, digesting each word. The storm outside answered with a clap of thunder, resonating with Jamie's fears. But what if the pain you're trying to avoid is worth the joy? Isn't that a chance you want to take? Jamie felt the heat rise to his cheeks. Matt's honesty was disarming. I want to believe that, he whispered. But each time I've let someone in, it's ended badly. And I guess I'm just scared of being left behind. Matt's expression softened as he reached across the table, their hands brushing against each other. Then maybe this is our chance, he said softly. To be there for each other. We can take those steps and stay aware of how we're feeling along the way. Just as Jamie was about to respond, there was a sudden crash of thunder, startling them both. Matt jumped, a genuine smile breaking through the remaining tension. "Bet we could outlast this storm," he joked, trying to lighten the moment. "You can hold my hand if it helps." That caught Jamie off guard, laughter bubbling up as he intertwined his fingers with Matt's. "That's definitely a strong strategy. At least we'll have a good story for next year's reunion, right?" Survived the storm of 2023 during emotional bonding time. Their laughter rang out over the sound of the rain, and Jamie felt the weight of the moment shift into something warmer. He looked into Matt's eyes, a spark of hope ignited in his chest. Why did it feel so good to just be open like this? But just as he leaned into that thought, a nagging worry crept back. What if this is just a moment? Jamie said suddenly, the laughter fading. What if it's not real? What if tomorrow we go back to being who we used to be? Matt squeezed his hand tighter, his gaze fierce with determination. Then we'll fight for it. I'm not going anywhere. Let us promise that we'll keep talking, keep being real with each other, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Jamie's heart raced at the idea. Could they really make it work? In that instant, he realized vulnerability was terrifying but also liberating. He took another deep breath, ready to embrace what was ahead, even if it was uncertain. Okay, let us promise, he replied, a smile forcing its way back. As they sat there, hands clasped firmly, it felt like the world outside faded away. Just them against the roar of the storm, a bond forged in the heart of fear. But even amid that fragile promise, a voice whispered doubts in Jamie's mind. Memories flooded back of times he'd been left behind. Would he be brave enough to truly commit this time? With that thought lingering, Jamie glanced at the window, watching droplets race each other down the glass. He was left wondering, if they could weather this storm together, what would come next? Would the light that followed be worth the risk? The cafeteria felt like a tiny world, surrounded by the storm outside, where life's chaos transformed into rhythm. But inside, Jamie and Matt were carving out a space of their own, one filled with vulnerability, hope, and possibilities. I meant what I said, Matt began, squeezing Jamie's hand tighter. This isn't just a fleeting moment. I don't want to go back to being that guy who hides behind masks and pushes everyone away. I want to be real with you. Jamie's heart swelled. This was more than just a chance, it was a transformation happening right before his eyes. I'm proud of you, he said softly. Every step you take toward being yourself, every bit of truth you share, that's bravery. And I'll be here, cheering you on. Outside, the rain continued to pour, a cascade of droplets sliding down the window, each a testament to the chaos that was slowly melting away. But in their corner of the cafeteria, warmth spread through Jamie's chest, blooming like flowers in springtime. It felt right. They were building something that could withstand any storm. I think I'm ready to share more, Matt admitted, looking straight into Jamie's eyes like the connection they were forging was a lifeline. I've always been scared of failing, of letting people down. But I'm realizing that maybe it's okay not to have everything figured out. Yes. Jamie exclaimed, his voice an octave higher with excitement. None of us have all the answers right away. It's okay to screw up. It's part of being human. What matters is that we learn together. For the first time, Matt smiled, a genuine, open expression that lit up the dim corner. That's what I want. To learn with you. So what's next? Jamie felt his pulse quicken. Let us promise to be open, to talk about our fears, our dreams. To share not just the good stuff but the messy parts too. With each word, their bond tightened, the understanding between them becoming a silent pact. I'm in, Matt said, the determination in his tone radiating through the air. You're right. I can't put this off anymore. I need to lean on you. I want to lean on you. As they sat together, Jamie knew they were stepping toward the light. He could feel it in every beat of his heart, in how their fingers laced together, creating a connection that pulsed with life. Outside, The rain was nearing a pause, the clouds parting ever so slightly to reveal glimpses of the sun breaking through. "Hey," Jamie said, his tone shifting to something lighter, teasing. "If we survive this storm, maybe we can start planning new adventures. Think of it like a fresh beginning, a way to write our story." Matt's laughter spilled like sunshine, chasing away the remnants of darkness. "Adventures, huh? I'm in. But no hiking just yet, let us keep things a little simpler for now." "Deal." Jamie laughed back. "Maybe coffee first, then." As they chatted, a ripple of laughter swept through the cafeteria, blending with the soothing sound of the rain easing outside. There was a warmth spreading through Jamie, an exhilarating sense of connection and a feeling that life was about to change, deeply and profoundly. Suddenly, Matt turned serious again. "You think everyone will understand? Our friends, I mean." Jamie thought for a moment. "Well, they might not get it all at first. But that's okay. We'll give them time. The important thing is that we're honest with each other, we hold on to that. We create our own space." "Yeah, I really like that," Matt nodded. "Creating our own space, our own rules about what being friends means." "Exactly. And if something feels wrong, we communicate. No more hiding. Just real conversations," Jamie affirmed, feeling the swell of excitement rise again. Then it hit him, a bright idea. "We should also lead by example. Show them that being open and vulnerable is okay. Maybe we can even encourage others who feel stuck in their own storms." Matt's eyes widened, awakening a new passion. "Yes. We can be a voice for change. Give others permission to be themselves without fear." The cafeteria buzzed with newfound energy, as Jamie and Matt realized that their journey was about to begin, not just as two individuals stuck in a storm, but as beacons guiding others toward open-heartedness. "I can't believe how far we've come just today," Matt murmured, and Jamie felt his heart glow with warmth. "We figured it out, didn't we?" "Yes, we're starting to paint a brand new picture. Overcoming. Transforming. Together." Jamie beamed. As the last of the storm clouds rolled away, revealing a brilliant blue sky, Jamie felt like they had emerged from their own darkness into the dawn of something extraordinary. Whatever storms lay ahead, they knew they were no longer alone in facing them. "Can we make a promise?" Jamie asked, vulnerability creeping back in. "To always keep this connection alive?" "I promise," Matt said, sincerity radiating from him. "To never give up on us, no matter what." With that, Jamie knew they had bridged the gap between their fears and their dreams. Together, they would weather every storm, guiding one another toward healing and courage, hand in hand. The cafeteria slowly returned to its usual buzz, but Jamie and Matt's little corner would forever hold their moment of transformation. They were ready for whatever came next, their hearts wide open to life, friendship, and all the beauty waiting just beyond the horizon. Now, before you go biting your nails for the next story, you need to subscribe now to our channel so you won't miss the next exclusive tales. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that like button immediately to feed the algorithm. I want to know your thoughts too, so comment below with your reactions and feelings about this touching ending. And don't wait not even one more second, share this video with 5 friends who need to see this transformation.